Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Good Boxing Podcast with their host, Josh Size. And I'm going to jump right into this episode. Artur Beterbiev took on Marcus Browne last night over in Russia in a very high-profile light heavyweight fight. Marcus Browne was coming off a pretty good victory. He came into the fight very confident, and truthfully, I thought Marcus Browne would shock the world and beat Artur Beterbiev, but Artur Beterbiev, who started off a little slow, Marcus Browne was moving around, giving him good looks, going to his body with that left, and occasionally trying to counter his jab with the right hook. However, after round two, Artur Beterbiev took over and just started to truthfully just pound Marcus Browne. I was quite shocked. I thought this was a very impressive performance, way better than Artur Beterbiev's last performance, which I don't know if he didn't look motivated or look flat, but in this performance, he made great tactical adjustments. That left hook, every time Marcus Browne tried to go to the body, was very sharp and very high IQ boxing. Eventually, he ended up breaking down Marcus Browne, who tried to trade more than I would have liked to see Marcus Browne do against someone who has tremendous power. He kept sitting against the ropes and not, for me, changing his routes of exit. I mean, you have the best angle in the game as a lefty, the Lomachenko angle where you step over and spin. I didn't see that one time. He instead decided to bend to the left and turn, which is great. I think it's a very useful exit. However, try going the other way, try going this way, try going backwards, mix it up. And then him sitting on the ropes, you're just leaving yourself open for the daunting attack of Artur Beterbiev. And a lot of people see the blood, and if you look at the thumbnail, you see the blood of Artur Beterbiev caused by a headbutt by Marcus Browne. Now, a lot of people are trying to say that Marcus Browne is dirty, and this is something that's happened in a lot of fights. One, do I think Marcus Browne leads with his head? Sometimes he does, when he's especially when he's going from the left side over to the right side. He'll go first with his head and throw that left hook. However, look, this is boxing, and this is something that happens when you're a righty fighting a lefty and a lefty fighting a righty. You guys are essentially mirror images of each other, and whoever doesn't move their head is going to bump into the head of the other person. I think it's a fight. I think shit happens, and either you're going to move your head or you're going to get hit. And I'm not going to sit here and say it's not dirty. It is. But again, you're fighting. You're fighting for light heavyweight supremacy. You're fighting for a potential Canelo fight in Artur Beterbiev's case, or even a fight with Bivol. I like his approach. He didn't let it bother him. In fact, it almost seemed to invigorate him, and that's what is so scary about Artur Beterbiev. I know he has a punch. I knew he is a pretty rough and rugged guy. He breaks down and knocks out every single one of his opponents. So you know he's tough. But once that blood comes out, once things get really rough and rugged, you don't have the crowd behind you. Like in the first two rounds, they were very, very quiet. I think we saw a lot about Artur Beterbiev, and it was really a great performance. He ended up dropping Marcus Browne in the seventh round, and then at that point, it just seemed like Marcus Browne was trying to survive, and unfortunately, the referee had to step in round 9 and stop it. Now, after all was said and done, they start talking about who does Artur Beterbiev want to fight next. Bob Arum had mentioned that the Canelo team, Eddie Reynoso, who is the manager of Canelo Alvarez, had reached out to them about a potential fight. And truthfully, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, before this performance, I wasn't too sure I wanted to see it. However, after, I think it would be a good fight. Artur Beterbiev carries his power into the later rounds, and Canelo at certain points seems to slow down a little bit or get lulled. However, can he beat Canelo Alvarez? And I made a rule to myself that I would never go against Canelo Alvarez again, and I'm not going to change that. I think Canelo Alvarez would make Beterbiev miss a lot, and Beterbiev is open to the body, and I don't care how good your chin is, how tough you are. the body brings the bitch out of everybody. And I hate saying that word, but it does. It really does. And Canelo's sharp counters to the body, his sharp counters off of the punches that Artur Beterbiev is going to miss will just take their toll, and eventually he'll break Artur Beterbiev down. I know people were saying, Artur Beterbiev is setting up some cool traps and counters. Yeah, that's great when you're fighting Marcus Browne, but when you've been in the ring with the best of the best counter punchers in the world, the best punchers in the world, Canelo Alvarez is just a totally different level. The traps that work on the lower level opposition aren't going to work on Canelo Alvarez. So I don't think Artur Beterbiev is going to land as cleanly as he did against Marcus Browne on a Canelo, but I would want to see the fight, just not now. I don't think Artur Beterbiev is even undisputed to make it that much more lucrative for Canelo. I know Canelo would certainly, if Artur Beterbiev fought Bivol, who was another guy that Canelo Alvarez is trying to fight, if they unified the titles and then all of a sudden it became a undisputed matchup, I think you take the fight 100% because Beterbiev is coming off a fantastic performance. If he were to beat a Bivol, or even Bivol beats him, the next person, you can make it the case that Canelo is going to be undisputed not only at 168 but at 175, which would be a tremendous feat, and I think that would be a way bigger fight. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't think Marcus Browne would revert to sitting against the ropes with his hands up, and I get it. Beterbiev is a solid power puncher and a devastating puncher, which would cause issues for anyone. However, I just wish Marcus Browne would have stuck to round 1 and 2's game plan. I know it was a testament to Artur Beterbiev cutting the ring off, putting the pressure on him. However, I just stopped seeing the game plan, and you could tell Derrick James was tremendously frustrated with his fighter because Derrick James was telling him the right things. Check him with that right hook, bend to the side when Beterbiev comes in. But once Beterbiev made the conscientious effort to smother Marcus Browne when he missed the hook and to lean on top of him so he could just basically put his weight on top of him where Marcus Browne would get tired of trying to hold up his weight, I just feel like Marcus Browne never really made the adjustment. And truthfully, I think Beterbiev, on top of just the power, took his heart away when Marcus Browne was throwing his full power behind his punches, and it didn't seem to move him at all. So mentally, he broke down Marcus Browne. Tactically, he broke down Marcus Browne, even though I felt Marcus Browne could have done more, quite frankly. But again, this is boxing and styles make fights, and they're the ones in there. Maybe something that Beterbiev did, which is, hey, he hits hard as a fucking truck, right? Stopped him from doing what he wanted to do. But I'm really sad for Marcus Browne, and I think this is pretty much it for him. I don't think he'll ever be the same after this fight, especially with the pounding that he took. So unfortunately, he had his chance. I thought even if he just made it 12 rounds and that would be a victory, people would be like, oh, this is the guy that went 12 rounds with Beterbiev. He gave him some issues, won some rounds, but winning 2 rounds isn't winning a fight. And unfortunately for him, I think this is the swan song for him. However, now comes the question. Who do you want to see Beterbiev square off against? Do you want to see him fight Canelo Alvarez? I mean, it would be a fun fight, but Canelo's talking about moving up to cruiserweight. And, at this point, I think he really might fight Usyk. All jokes aside, I know it's crazy. But, yeah, if you're going to go up to cruiserweight to fight Mugapu, why not go up and fight Usyk? I mean, that would be a tremendous fight. I don't think he would win. But, again, Canelo Alvarez, you put your name in the hat and all of a sudden your stock gets put up and they can actually use Canelo's name to promote your fight. And I think that's what Bob Arum, the people around Beterbiev did. They mentioned Canelo's name. He mentioned Canelo's name, and now Beterbiev is going to get thrown in that hat where people see someone who's a devastating power puncher, who is tough as hell. I mean, you can't deny the fact that Artur Beterbiev is one tough motherfucker. I'm not going to lie to you. He's strong as hell. But I just think Canelo's too good. I think he can outbox Artur Beterbiev. I think he can actually outwork Artur Beterbiev on the inside. His power may not be the biggest for 175, but that speed will have Artur Beterbiev on skates and really, really gun shy to punch, even though he just punches regardless. He's similar to Triple G, where he likes to just touch, but he lines up the knuckles and gets that nice shoulder alignment where you feel the thudding power of the shots. So I think we have another person in the mix for Canelo. I think he won't beat him. I don't think anyone at this point right now can beat Canelo Alvarez, and I'm going to stick with that and ride with Canelo. I said I was sorry. I would never do it again, and I'm going to sit there and stick to my guns. I just don't think Artur Beterbiev, for as strong as he is and as strong-willed as he is, and as much as he's going to try to break down Canelo Alvarez and discourage Canelo, I just don't see it. He's too fast, too slick, and the power is great, but you got to land your power. Remember, Canelo just fought Caleb Plant, who was setting world-class traps with world-class speed, and he was making Caleb miss like crazy. Then you saw what he did to Billy Joe Saunders. You saw what he did against Kovalev. It's hard to touch Canelo, and Beterbiev is very, very slow. So I don't know. And hopefully the fight happens, and, we get to see at the end of the day. But truthfully, the fight for me is Bivol, who is 175, can move and is slick. He is a counterpuncher as well. I think if he were to handle Bivol, then I would sit here and say that maybe he can catch Canelo, because Bivol is a very good fighter. He's very slick, has very good movement, very good defense, good feints, decent power. He's not like world class. And I think that would be a good barometer for if he's ready for someone of class like Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Vostik was good, but again, he's not Canelo Alvarez. He's not Bivol. He's not someone that's in their prime, that's sharp, coming, never lost before. And truthfully, I think Bivol probably beats Beterbiev, but it's a 50-50 fight, and I would have to watch more of the two guys. But you guys let me know down below what you think. And if you're following on Spotify, Apple, please leave a review. It really, really helps the channel. And yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to stick true to uploading every day. And if you want to watch the podcast, feel free to join on YouTube. Good Boxing Podcast on YouTube. And thank you so much for all the support on Instagram. I had one video where I was commentating on Gervonta Tank Davis, and the thing kind of went viral. It almost has 1.5 million views, which is insane. So the Instagram has been exploding. We're almost at 2,600 followers, and I don't even know where this thing is going to stop. It's quite crazy. But wow, I really, really am thankful for all the support, and I hope you guys have a great Saturday. I will be commentating on the Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora fight. Stay tuned for that episode. I should get it up quick, but the audio is going to actually come out before the video, so I apologize in advance because I'm doing a different setup using Premiere Pro, so I have to kind of sync the audio and the video, and the quality is a lot better. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the audio. If you want to leave a review on Spotify or Apple, and if you're listening on YouTube, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much, and enjoy the fights for today.